I would like to introduce you to our today audience. All of them are Russian speakers. So some already based in Singapore and some of them for a very long time. Others are still planning to relocate to Singapore and settle their family, business, career, everything here. So as you know, guys, Kay and Elena are co-founders of the Immigration People Agency. So, and they're helping people to get PR, citizenship. And as you know, that now Kay and Elena are supporting my family in this process. So I don't want to take much of your time. So I give a floor to Kay, and we are very excited to hear your presentation.
Thank you so much, Katrina. We are also very happy, to actually try to bring Singapore closer to our Russian-speaking community. So, quick introduction: we are the Immigration People. We are a multiple awards-winning company. So these are the more prominent award: Best Startup in Year 2020 by SME 100, and Fast Enterprise Award by Asia Pacific Enterprise Award 2021. And I would like to pass this session to Elena to start first. So today, I'm going to talk about obtaining Singapore PR and citizenship. And before we start, perhaps Katrina, would you like to launch the poll so we know more about who is in the webinar session today, Katrina?
Okay, launching it now.
So what you can do is that you can select which one is the most applicable for you. So I'm guessing that they're asking are you here 3 years and lesser, 3 to 5 years, or 5 years and above? Yep. So you can actually select which one is more applicable for your situation.
Yeah, as I can see now that many people also living in Singapore more than 5 years. So it's the same situation as me.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So actually, Katrina, do you think you can share the poll?
I should end it first and then I can share the result.
Yes,
so we will give, so you can start your presentation and we will just give like a few minutes more. Once it's done, then I share.
Sure. We also have another question that will come up later on. Yeah. So, Elena?
Sure. Thank you so much, Kay. So a quick introduction about our team, the Immigration People. As you can see, everyone in this photo is our team. It may look very small. There's about 11 of us, but all of us have at least, combined 25 years of experience together. So we have, a lot of experience in handling Singapore immigration matters, be it from work pass applications to PR, citizenship, long-term visit passes, etc. All right. So maybe we can make a guess. So we want to make this session a little bit more interactive. Make a guess how many PR applications are being filed to the Singapore government every year. So you can actually use the chat box and actually share your answer. Don't worry, no penalty for the wrong answer. All right. We have Alex saying that it's 100,000. Okay. 150,000, 500,000, some are very ambitious. Maybe we can take a look at the answers. Okay, so those who answer correctly, 100,000, PR applications every year, and we're looking at 60,000 citizenship applications. Just for your quick information, you can only apply for Singapore citizenship if you have been a PR for more than 2 years. So PR is very important. It's a stepping stone to getting a Singapore passport. So maybe now our second guess. All right. How many applications do you think are approved every year? Okay. So a lot of speculations, Government rejecting a lot of people now with COVID. So let's make a guess. All right. Oh, we have a lot of answers, 30,000, 60,000 approvals, 1,000. 1,000 is a bit little. Okay, 20,000. All right, let us take a look at the answer. So yes, those who answer 30,000, 40 or 20,000, very close. So we're looking at 30,000 new PRs and 22,000 new citizens granted by the Singapore government. Okay, Singapore is a very small country, so we won't be able to accommodate too many people, so they are doing it very selectively. Let us take a look first for what is the advantage of being a PR. a lot of you guys have been here for more than 5 years. Maybe you're thinking about, should I apply? EP is good for me. Why should I need to be a PR? So first of all, is to enter in and out of Singapore freely. Of course, with a work pass, you can enter in and out freely as well. But having a PR is definitely giving you the much needed stability and security. The next one would be multiple job opportunities available. I think this is one of the key reasons why a lot of expats now they are rushing to apply for PR. All right, because again, with work pass, right, as you know, you're tied down to only one company. All right, and if this company terminates your pass, it gets cancelled, you can only stay in Singapore for another 30 days. After 30 days, you have to leave the country. If not, you are considered illegal stay. All right, so it's very important. But whereas as a PR, you are a permanent resident status. All right, you're considered a local here. Even if you're not working for half a year, for 1 year, 2 years, you decide to take a career break, you go further your studies for 2 years, you're still going to be a PR. You can still remain in Singapore, live here, enter in and out freely. The third one would be, of course, family benefits. Okay, as a PR, you can sponsor, your parents over your children can stay in Singapore with you, and they get priority to local schools, government schools. All right, which the quota is always prioritizing Singaporeans and PRs, followed by foreigners. All right, so it makes you eligible for a lot of government subsidies as well. Next would be financial and tax benefits. Of course, tax reliefs, you get CPF, which is like a pension fund that helps you save for your retirement, for your future. You can also use your CPF money to pay off, for your children's education. All right, there is also a MediSave that help you to subsidize your healthcare benefits. As you know, Singapore, we're not a welfare state, so our healthcare is not free of charge. But as a PR, you definitely get to enjoy a lot more subsidies, especially when you go to government hospitals. All right, next, better housing benefits and ownership. So we can take a look at the difference in tax rates that you have to pay, as a citizen versus a PR versus a foreigner. So you can see right from the first row, if you're a Singapore citizen buying your first property in Singapore, you don't need to pay additional buyer's stamp duty. So this is something like a tax you pay to the Singapore government. But let's say if you become a PR today, you need to pay 5% additional buyer's stamp duty. As you know, property in Singapore can be quite expensive. Let's say if you buy a 1 million Sing dollars condo, you need to pay 5% of this 1 million to the government. But if you're a foreigner today, you buy a 1 million condominium, you need to pay 200,000 just for taxes alone. Yeah, not even talking about the other, the actual property value, 200,000. So that is a lot of money. Okay, and of course, it's easier for you to get loans from the banks, from financial companies as PR compared to being on work pass. All right. Last but not least, we have a step closer to citizenship. As mentioned earlier, you're only entitled to apply for citizenship after being PR for 2 years. There's no other way to get citizenship. There's no shortcut as well. All right, so this is something that, we would like to ensure everybody is aware. Maybe now we can have a show of hands. How many people love Singapore? So those who don't love Singapore, maybe you're in the wrong webinar, okay? But you can actually just say in the chat, you put a thumbs up, like Alex, that you love Singapore. I believe most of you like Singapore to a certain extent. That's why you're here. Okay. So how many of you guys, right, are actually sending your children to international schools? Like you're here with your spouse, your children, they're not going to government schools, you're sending them to international school. 1 kid. Great. So as you know, international school is very costly here. This is why Singapore is one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. All right. Education is one of them. So these are the more common international schools. Okay. Tanglin Trust, Singapore American School, and also UWC. So the average cost, right, for a child, okay, of elementary level all the way to high school level, you're looking at paying up to 40,000 Sing dollars per year. This can be easily somebody's annual income or, your income for a good 2-3 months. So it's very expensive. We're not talking about tertiary qualification somewhere. All right. And now with COVID-19, it hit the whole world, not just Singapore. But as expats, you face a lot more uncertainty because, the government wants to protect our own citizens. So if companies want to retrench staff, they are usually looking at the expats first, the work pass holders to be laid off first. All right. And expats who used to live here in Singapore, they face pay cut, they have no choice, or they even get their work pass cancelled. All right. We have seen a good number of prospects and clients having to leave Singapore because their pass got cancelled and terminated by their employer. So how did COVID impact our Singapore immigration? This one may not be new to most of you here. Okay, the Ministry of Manpower, they are implementing a lot of new rules and regulations to ensure that local candidates get selected first. Again, local candidates, we're talking about Singapore citizens and PR. All right, and it's harder and harder to get an EP now. So those of you who are on EP, you may know that in the past, you just need $3,600 to qualify for one. But now you need to earn at least $4,500. And sometimes even if you earn $5,000, you also won't be able to qualify. All right. So it's tougher for foreigners to enter Singapore to find jobs. And it's a more stringent selection process. Next, how about PR and citizenship? How is it affecting our quota? So as you know, right, the Singapore government wished to hit a population size of 6.9 million by 2030. This is to ensure that our population size will not shrink and our economy continues to grow and remain competitive. All right, but currently we're only at about 5.45 million, including those who are living in Singapore, foreigners who are living in Singapore. So we have about 1.5 million to go in 9 years' time. But if we were to rely on our own birth rate, which is at 1.1 child per female, we won't be able to reach this number. This is why we still need to rely on immigration. All right. The government still needs to approve, new PRs, new citizens every year to make sure that we don't shrink and end up like, issues that Japan is facing now. But we're also very close, like many other developed countries. All right. So again, the government wants to balance the flow of foreign talents who's coming in to complement our local talent pool. They're very selective of who are the people who's qualified to be a PR, to be a citizen, to enjoy our benefits. Priority will always be given to not only those who are paying taxes. Okay, everybody has to pay taxes if you're working here, but those who can blend in with our community, is always putting in extra effort to give back to the community, to integrate, to be a part of us. So there's a lot of projects, there's ongoing projects by the government, which we will also be encouraging our clients and directing our clients to go to. So when is a good time to apply? Actually, 2022 is the best time to apply. Why? Because the latest population report shows that Singapore's population has declined for the first time since 1970. So now the government is desperately trying to increase our population through immigration by people who has been here for quite a while. All right. And at the same time, there's really lesser foreigners in Singapore. About 180,000 foreigners have really left Singapore last year because of COVID. So there's lesser competition for yourself. Lesser competition, same quota, we are looking at slightly higher chances or slightly easier to be approved this time round. Okay, and this is the latest article, by the Straits Times. In 2020, 182,000 jobs have been lost by S-Pass EP holders, PEP holders. So sharpest fall in employment. Okay, right now there's lesser competition. Again, we highly encourage clients to apply by next year because we are anticipating a very good quota. So next, I'm going to pass the baton to Kay to share with you the immigration landscape and also our top considering factors when the government consider a PR candidate. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elena. So I'm going to talk about the current immigration landscape. But before that, let's talk about, more than 10 years ago, before year 2009, it was very easy to get PR. At one point, they were like giving out PR for free, to be honest, very easily you can get PR. So they have started tighten the immigration policy after that. And as a result, every year we have seen increasing number of rejected PR applications. So the Singapore government, right, is very serious about managing the inflow of the quality immigrant. However, like what Elena saying, immigration is still one of the very important policy that we're looking at because we need to complement our local talent pool. So Elena mentioned one thing is that our population white paper was 6.9 million, but of course the government know that how unrealistic it is. Yeah, to be honest, I don't even think that Singapore is going to reach 6 million in 9-year time, honestly. But population decreasing, it is not healthy at all. If we take a look at our history, right? When does COVID hit? The first COVID case is February 2020. I still remember. Yeah, because it has been almost 2 years. I have never go home. So the first case is February 2020. And then, as you can see, actually the main part of the COVID, impact was in the latest report. So that's why you see after COVID hits, there's started have a bit people living, and then we have more and more people living. So total about 180,000. So what we are seeing here is that, the number of PR approval, I'll explain why there's a drop later. But as we can see, previously the non-resident, right, before COVID was at 1.68 million. So right now it's at 1.47. And only 11% are EP holders. So you can do a rough calculation. It will come up 160 to 180,000 of EP holders in Singapore. And of course, it's not everyone applying for PR, right? So, I also want to share about what are other struggles, that we have. Of course, we are an aging population. Now, second thing, I'm sure everyone knows, we have decreasing of fertility rate. You might be surprised to see there's only one ethnic with increasing fertility rate, and the rest actually dropped below 1% for Chinese and Indian. So it brings down the overall fertility rate to 1.10. So actually, government is being very concerned with all these data, right? However, one thing that I want to talk about is that, just give me a second. Let me go back to the previous screen, because a lot of people, right, thinks that, because of COVID, okay, look at it, the data is going down, right? But there's a disclaimer at the bottom, if you can see. So the lower grant figure in 2020 is likely due to travel restriction, and there were limited slots to complete the final step for PR and citizenship, which must be done in person. So what happened is that government are still giving PR at about 30 to 32,000, but because a lot of people are unable to travel in, especially last year, right? So it's only recently that they started opening up the borders. So a lot of people got it, but they were unable to complete formalities. So I have done a few in-principle approval extension for some of my clients who are stuck overseas. So actually, we are very hopeful because like what Elena saying, now is the best time because, government is very concerned with the decreasing of population. The intention is to increase. And when foreign worker level will not go back to pre-COVID, the only way to increase is through increasing the number of residents. Outside, it's pretty hard to come in, right? Because of tightening of some of the rules by MOM, EP, and S-Pass. So they will actually give PR for those who are still based in Singapore who can actually keep their job. Yeah, so this is what I have. We prepared and tried to share that, now it's really, 2022 is really one of the best time to apply. Now, I would like to share a bit about what are the profiles of the PR especially. As I can see, we have more people who is keen to apply for PR. So we're going to focus on the PR's number. So out of 27,470 new PRs, so as you can see, the highest age group is of course 21 to 30 years old. Second highest is 31 to 40 years old. We can focus on the one on the right side because this is the latest number. This number consists of data from July 2020 till June 2021, and this number came out in September 2021, which is just 3 months back. As we can see, now I know that the number doesn't look very nice for people who are above 40 years old, but I can tell you guys, age is not really a deciding factor. But what I have observed is that if you are here, you are above 40 years old, and you are not bringing anyone 20 years old and below, definitely the chances will be slightly lower for those who have child, like I mentioned, because, our low fertility rate, they want babies, they want more babies, okay? So tonight, go home and make babies, all right? Now, second thing that how they actually categorize the PR, it's by highest qualification. And of course, majority of you guys is post-secondary graduates. Yeah, either you guys have bachelor or master. That's good. Now, by country of origin, okay, of course, Southeast Asian. Yeah, it's the highest. Yeah, because majority are Malaysian and Indonesian, of course. Yeah, Chinese especially. And other Asian countries, 35.4, and you guys are here. But I want to share, right? We have seen a pretty good increase of the approval from 6.3% to 8.4%. Yeah. So and also after COVID hits, right, we have seen a lot of Caucasian family left Singapore actually. So recently we have seen an increasing number of approval for Caucasian family. So definitely it's a good news looking at the statistic. Yeah. Now, next thing that I want to share is what are the common mistakes people make when they apply themselves. So before I share this, right, perhaps I would like to know, right, who has applied for PR before. So Katrina has actually prepared another poll. So we want to know who actually applied PR before, who get rejected one time. So, Katrina, do you mind to launch?
Yeah, I will launch, yes.
Oh, Alexander said 3 times. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, now you can vote.
Yeah, you can start voting, This is in order for me to know, who is applying for the first time. That's good. The good news is first time is your best chance. But for those who get rejected, don't get too disheartened, because our record in the immigration people is help someone who applied 10 times, fail himself on the 11th attempt. We help them to get approval. So Alex, 3 times is fine. It's okay. Keep it going. All right. So perhaps we can launch the poll. We can share the results. Yeah, so that I can know as well.
So yeah.
All right.
I share that now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I'm seeing that there are quite a lot of people who apply first time. There are also some people who get rejected before. Now, for those who get rejected before, let's see, what mistake you make when you file your application, okay? So these are a common mistake people make when they apply themselves. The first one is I'm not aware of high reviewing standards of ICA. Sometimes when I ask my client for a copy of their EP, there are clients who holding onto their EP, snapping a picture, you still can see their finger on it, right? Their shadow on top. All these are not acceptable. I also have received birth cert that doesn't contain the name before. Yeah, that doesn't contain the candidate's name because it was issued by a clinic, and at point of birth, the parents have never thought about the name yet. So it was left empty. So it cannot be used. Actually, to be recognized as proof of birth, right, it must contain your name, your parents' name, birthplace, and birth date. Any of this information missing, it cannot be used. So ICA is unable to actually disclose all these kind of small little requirements publicly. So that's why a lot of people, when they apply themselves, they are not aware of this. Now, second is minimal or no social integration efforts. So there are a lot of people who have been here for a very long time, but they have yet to demonstrate that they are pretty much integrated to the society. Now, the reason why Malaysian Chinese like me, right, is very easy to get approval because we are very similar in terms of our culture, language. It's fairly easy for Malaysian to integrate here. But other than that, other nationality, right, you really have to put in some effort to prove that you have done your part. So that's why you must have heard of it before, that people say that, you have to do some volunteering works. Katrina will be telling you, Kay forced me to go volunteering works. Yeah. Why? Because it will help, right? Okay. Now, the third one is that, not aware of the government stand with regards to immigration. So people don't understand what ICA looking at. Yeah, to be honest, the immigration people have intimate knowledge about how ICA works. So when you come to our one-to-one, right, we will actually share with you the ICA internal processes, okay, which is very useful. So you know how ICA works internally. Yeah, then you know how you can score a better chance. Now, next one is also very common, submission of compulsory documents only. Now, majority of the people when they apply themselves, they just submit according to whatever ICA asks. So passport, birth cert, edu cert, marriage cert. If this is the way you submit, to be honest, your profile is not any outstanding, and ICA knows too little about you as well. Next is sometimes there tend to be some policy change. So if you do yourself, you might have missing out certain step and it will jeopardize your application. Okay, so the latest policy change regarding citizenship is that, there are two new category of the people that can apply for citizenship, which is PR, but you are a student. Okay, previously you can't apply at all. So what I'm trying to share is that government does change policy from time to time. And of course, with the professional help, we are pretty much updated with all the policy change. All right. Now, next one is a lot of people when they apply themselves, they tend to underestimate their profile. So they rely on their friends. Your friends will be telling you, first time applying, for sure they will reject you because they want to test your sincerity. The more tries, the better. Yeah, this is definitely not true. First time is the best. Yeah, all right. So a lot of people also say, oh, you have no children, no chance. Or you have, no son, you only have daughter. You won't be able to get approval. No. Try to talk to a professional because a professional would have seen a lot more cases. All right. Now, next one is when you do it yourself, you tend to make error because you are not familiar with the form. We have helped a lot of high-profile clients to file their application, and some of them, when they give me their past application, you'll be surprised that some of them, they indeed make mistakes. Example, like ICA will be asking for your full employment history. I have client only put his latest employment in Singapore. So that's a major form filling error. Now, last but not least, no post-submission knowledge. So a lot of you are not aware that after submission, you have to update ICA if you have any profile change. Profile change could be job change, promotion, or increment. So a lot of people thought after submission, they don't have to do anything at all, which is not true. Now, this is a very important slide, okay? So I hope that I can get your attention. If you're watching YouTube, I have to trouble you to, close it. So to make sure that you're still staying with me, can I have, you responding to me on the chat, say yes, I'm still here. Yes, okay, that's good. Yeah, Alex is very proactive. Yeah, very nice. Good. So these are the top influencing factors that will influence the success of your application. So how ICA is going to look at it, it's called holistically. So ICA will not focus on one factor. Example, like Kay, you mentioned aging population, but you'll be surprised to know that we have clients 65 years old, 75 years old, and 80 years old got PR approved. Yeah. And how is it possible? Yes, they are unable to check this box, but they can make up to their profile with checking the rest of the factors. So this is what I mean by holistic approach. Now, I'm going to go through these 12 factors one by one. Now, first, age. Prime working age in Singapore is between 25 to 54 years old. So if you're below 54, yes, you're in a good position. However, if you're above 54, it doesn't mean you have no chance, yeah? If you are progressing in your career, you still stand a very good chance. So you can give back to the society with your years of experience and you're expert in your field. Yeah. So this is how, this is how the age factors works. And of course, because if you're younger, you have a longer period of contribution. So of course, this will help. However, recently I have seen a trend is that, they are approving slightly older candidates, but with family. Yeah, because when you have a family, right, you tend to stay longer. You'll be more stable as well. Now, second, family ties. So normally I ask client two questions. The first one is everyone here in Singapore? Second question is everyone applying together? So if it's yes for both, right? Yes, you're checking the box because core family is the most important. What is not good, right? Example, I give you some example. S-Pass holder applying himself because the wife and the kids are back in his home country, or there are people who excluding their son. Yeah, so this is very important. Yeah, so do not, just exclude your son because of national service liability. So you're not showing that you are committed as a family. So ICA would like to give PR for those that they think that committed to Singapore and wants to further sing in Singapore as a family. Now, to add brownie points is that if your aunt, uncle, cousin are all Singaporeans and PRs. If you do not have, it is fine. Honestly, I have a lot of clients have no relatives as well. Now, next one is industry requirement. This is quite important. ICA will segregate the quota according to which industry you are in. So good industry are those that align with the country direction. And right now, of course, we know that Singapore is moving towards being a smart nation, smart city. So cybersecurity, IT, technology, you're in a good position. Even clean energy, so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean that, oh yeah, I'm the cybersecurity expert, I can do my own application. I just submitted a so-so application. You're not presenting that you're better than other industry professional. You will still end up getting a rejection. Maybe if you're in a better position, because of larger quotas available, you just need to be top 30%, then you get approval. Not so good industry also doesn't mean you have zero chance. You probably have to work harder to squeeze yourself to the top 3%, then you get approval. But with this statement, right, what I'm trying to share is that the immigration people has helped a lot of candidates across different industry to get approval. Every industry, there are definitely quotas available. Now, next one is social integration. So I have previously mentioned about this, Elena mentioned it too. This is very important, how integrated you are to the Singapore society. So normally we will advise our clients to actually do some volunteering works. We will guide them how many hours is good enough, okay? And we'll connect them to the right, government organization as well. Yeah, must be endorsed by the government. So I see it as internal benchmark as well, because it's impossible for them to recognize that you have been here for 10 years, started doing something for 3 hours. Yeah, you are checking the box. So when you come to our one-to-one session, we'll share with you how many hours is good enough, how frequently you should do it. So all this will help you to check the box of social integration. Now, next one is, one more tips. Yeah, this tips, is not must do. Yeah, it's pretty tough to do, but it helps. Yeah, if let's say you want to learn Chinese, because for your information, 75% of the population in Singapore are Chinese. So if you know how to speak Mandarin, so it will help you as well to integrate to the society better. However, no obligation. All right. Now, next one is property investment. So we understand that, like what Elena said, 20% additional buyer stamp duty for the first property. So it's actually very expensive. So if you do not have it, it's fine. But I do have a small percentage of the client, very small actually, that they can afford before they apply for PR. They want to buy a property. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, it's one of the best ways to tell them that you're very committed, that you have a property in Singapore, right? That you are calling this place a home. Yeah, no obligation. Yeah. Now, next one is insurance. So a lot of people are not aware that insurance will actually help you in your application. How? Today, the moment you turn to a Singapore PR, if anything were to happen to you, government have to subsidize you. So government always prefer someone who's well covered because they know that you're not going to be a liability if anything were to happen to you. Yeah, so if someone has no intention to stay in Singapore for long, honestly, they will not buy any insurance as well. So insurance is one of a really good way to tell them that you're very committed. So you can buy medical, life, or maybe some retirement planning, endowment plans. Yeah, it will help you. Now I'm gonna go to the next one, whereby I'm gonna talk about financial investment first. Yeah, okay. So because it's kind of related, so financial investment, what are they looking at? Okay, they're going to look at, do you have any investment in Singapore, or are you those who every month, okay, you actually get a high salary, all your money you send back home in your home country, you have plenty of investment asset, but nothing in Singapore. That's not very good. Yeah. However, I have clients who keep everything in Singapore, but all in bank saving is also not that great, not that ideal, because bank saving is still very liquid. If you want to go back to Singapore, you can withdraw everything and off you go. So normally we advise clients to open like SRS account. Yeah. So, SRS account is supplementary retirement scheme. Okay. So it helps you to reduce your tax. It locks in your money. So it's one of the best way to tell them that you are very committed, that you have planned your retirement in Singapore. Right. Now, next one, I'm going to go to endorsement. Endorsement is like a recognition, recommendation. Do you have any local friends here, Singaporeans or PRs that know you personally, can endorse your good character, endorse your work achievement? So, what we do at the immigration people, we prepare recommendation letter, and then you approach all these endorser to endorse it for you. So it will add brownie point to your application. What I still do not like is expat only mingle with expats. Yeah, they want you to try to integrate, so it will help you. So normally we prepare about 3 to 4 letters, yeah, so that you can approach some of your friends and colleagues to endorse it for you. Now, unique talent, if let's say, right, you have certain talent, and I'm talking about very competitive, yeah. You cannot be telling me that you're really good in drawing, okay, and then you draw at home and that's all. Yeah, unless you're really good at it, that you had your own exhibition in Singapore, example. Yeah, I do have a personal friend who actually got his residency status. He's a Singaporean now under this unique talent scheme. He's now the number 1 badminton player in Singapore. Yeah, so Lo Ken Yu, I'm not sure if any one of you know. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, so yeah, very competitive, all right, not just better than your neighbor, better than your friends. Yeah, no. All right, now I already spoken about financial investment. Next up is educational level. I'm sure there are a lot of you here, right, at least have a tertiary education, so you would have checked the box. Yeah, so however, one thing we appreciate is your upskilling effort. Why upskilling effort is so important? Because they like people who have a good career progression. Yeah, so they want to see that you're getting increment, promotion, and one of the way to achieve career progression is really through your upskilling efforts. You can see even Singaporean government is encouraging them to go for skill future courses. They give them free skill future credits. A lot of you are not aware that you can also attend skill future course, but it's at a subsidized fees. Yeah, so when you do all this, right, it will help you to show that you are better candidates in the same industry as you. Now, next one, professional achievements. Okay, this is very important. Yeah, we have to show that you're better than other industry professionals because, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to compete with your industry professional. So you have to tell them that I'm better because I've achieved this in my career. So a lot of people apply themselves, no resume, no cover letter, and the worst case scenario is that in the Form 4A, ICA gave you 3,500 words to talk about your achievement and innovation. You'll be surprised to know that a lot of my clients, when they apply themselves, they put not applicable. So that's why PR become not applicable for them. Yeah, that is very bad actually. Now, next up, it's economic contribution. So, actually, right, my requirement is pretty low. It's 6,000. Why 6,000? Because government thinks that if you earn 6,000 and below, you can't even raise your family here. So they don't allow you to bring in dependent, your spouse and your child. So above 6,000 is good. Of course, the more the better, right? Because you contribute to higher income tax. Yeah. So when you come to a one-to-one, right, we'll take a look at your age, and then we'll advise you, your economic contribution is fine, because as your age increases, your economic contribution has to go up as well. So it's like related to career progression. Yeah. I hope that you guys have some tips on how you can increase your chances. Okay. Now, next up, right, I'm going to talk about, it's busting the common myth. Yeah. So the first one is that Singapore government prefers sons over daughters. So you take a look at the 12 factors, right? There's no factors as in like gender, you look at gender. Definitely not true. Daughter is fine. All right. Okay. Now, next one, you get approved by PR. Okay. For your PR by luck. Definitely not true. You need luck at a certain point because you need to have quotas available, right? Okay. But to get there, right, there's proven method that it works, because you have to understand the entire process. There is no interview involved at all. Government is really judging you based on how comprehensive is your presentation. So the more comprehensive it is, the better. So it's not by luck, okay? Now, next one, the more tax you pay, the higher your chances, or your salary determines approval. Pretty similar. Economic contribution is only one of the considering factor. It is not the deciding factors. So this is definitely not true. I'm sure that you have heard people who earn $3,000 gets approval, because when you understand ICA system, right, they will segregate the quota according to which level you at as well. And the executive is not going to compete with the director level. So this is how, right, I have 65 years old, single, UK guy got approved, yeah, because he's a CEO level. But like I mentioned, it is not the deciding factors. All right. Now, next one is if your rejection letter does not mention about reapplying after this many years, means you do not stand a chance anymore. More often than not, a lot of my clients, when they come to me, they show me the rejection letter. Okay, tell me, why am I getting rejected? Okay, I just want to tell you that I know IC has a few templates that just randomly sending out. So your rejection letter does not say anything, does not mean anything. So if you want, you can share with me how you present your application, your past form, if we can spot certain, mistakes there, and we can give some comment as well. Now, last but not least, you will definitely get rejected in your first application. I already mentioned this, not true. To be honest, we know ICA quite well, and we know that they always prioritize, first timer compared with those who gotten multiple rejection before. All these are not true. And how do we help you, right? So we have true immigration knowledge and experience built over many years. So, you might be surprised to see that recently we have this, our biggest competitors, Paul Immigration. It was featured on CNA, why there are people in our industry that promise of 90, 99%, some say 80%, but still very high actually, right? Okay, because this industry is non-regulated. Yeah, so you might be surprised to find that a lot of competitors, right, they don't really have true immigration knowledge. So you really have to do the background check before you engage a company to help you with your application. So second thing, okay, how do we help you? We provide a complimentary one-to-one profile evaluation to really identify your weakness and evaluate your profile. So the first consultation is free. Now, the third thing is that we'll give you a list of supporting documents that will maximize your chances of approval. Yeah, we also will have 2% hand-holding you throughout the entire process to ensure communication efficiency and customer service excellence. And every document package, right, is highly personalized, okay, to ensure that we put our best foot to ensure that we put your best foot forward, for government consideration. Some of the company out there, right, they love to use template and we don't like it at all. Now, next one, it's last one, which is a post-submission and post-outcome care and support. One thing that we are really good at is that we are very customer centric, okay? So we take care of our clients. So rest assured that we are here from end to end. Yeah, even your result is out, right? We are still here to guide you through. Yeah, so that's how we're different. In some company, right, sometimes you tend to, like a situation like you cannot find a consultant at different stages, they kick your case to different people. So rest assured this will not happen here. Yeah. So in a short 2 years, like I mentioned, we have received multiple awards. We also are the only firm, okay, with a YouTube channel, a lot of content there. So if you have your phone, you can actually scan. You can check out. Right now, we are close to 1,000 subscribers. Most of our videos have more than 1,000 views. We teach you how you can draft your own cover letter. And then we teach you how you can appeal. So it's actually very informative. So you can definitely check us out. Yeah. Now, like I mentioned, how are we different? One of the things that we are very proud of is also we publish our pricing on the website. So we are not like some company, 12,000, but you decide today 7,000. No. You decide today, tomorrow, next week is gonna be the same price. Next year, I don't know. All right. Yeah, so because we might adjust, right, due to inflation, just slight adjustment, but our pricing is on the website. So pricing transparency. So we are a big advocate of pricing transparency. So like I mentioned, we have proper follow-ups and we don't like to use template. Yeah. In fact, right, recently we have launched this successful PR series. You can listen to what our approved client has to say about working with us. So we hope that we can feature Katrina family as well. Yeah, finger crossed, when it's approved. So the one of the common things that they commented is that, they like how personalized we are. Yeah. Now, next one is that, we will not rush you into filing application. We talk about when is the best time to file. So we will properly strategize and build up your case before submission. And we also do not work with everyone. Yeah, there are many circumstances that, there are many instances that we do turn down clients. So rest assured, we'll be able to provide a more personalized service to you. So these are our events right now. Of course, we do a lot of online events. Yeah, although we are just about 2.5 years old, but many big companies are very happy to work with us. We are official partner of OCBC, immigration partners. Okay, we are also official partner of this lifestyle application called Wellnex. Yeah, and a lot more as well. Yeah, why? Because of good reputation. To be honest, the team is extremely proud that, to tell everyone that we are the only firm in Singapore that maintain at a 5 full Google review. It's not easy because there tend to be rejection. If you know how Google works, right? It's not that, I saw a bad review today, I delete this review. I only keep the good review. There's no such thing. So, even you see some of our clients here, right? They leave a Google review. It's not that they get approval, but they understand that we have really put in the effort. The quality is there. So that's why they're still willing to, share about us, refer client to us, and leave a review. So these are some of the cases. Okay, it was top left, 12 years rejected 7 times. Yeah, so quite a pain, to be living here for 12 years without a residency status. So he get quite disheartened. This client is a business owner, no job change, no promotion, no increment. But what changes is how we present his profile change, which is extremely important. So we have a lot more. So you can check out our Google review. So I want to just quickly talk about some case study, how we help his case, what is his challenges, and what's the result. So the first case study is an Indian citizen working as a superintendent, technical superintendent in the shipping industry. Married with a 6-year-old son. They've been living in Singapore for over the last 4 years, and the application rejected once. You know what's interesting? His first attempt got rejected in 1 month. So when I advised him, right, when I consult him the first time, I told him that there might be something wrong with the application. You're applying for the first time, it cannot be rejected in 1 month. Second time, 6 months approved. So due to the challenges that he faces, that there are a lot of Indian professionals in shipping industry. The quota is limited. So how to make his profile stand out is very important. And he and the wife, right, was very actively volunteering, but they are not aware that it will help them. So they did not put in their PR application at all. So the profile submitted to ICA, right, is really quite so-so. So we actually, refer them to government endorsed organizations. Yeah. And then we also advise the client to actually have some investment here, okay, and showcase that they have long-term plan in Singapore. So as a result, 6 months approval. So right now, right, yeah, he's very happy because his son is in local school. He loves local school system. I'm going to pass over case study 2 and 3 to Elena. She's going to share with you about her clients.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kay. So for the second case study, right, is my client from France. It's also part of the non-Asian community. All right. So they've been in Singapore for 11 years. And actually their combined income is pretty high because the main applicant, the husband, is actually a director level in a big financial company with more than 30 employees. The wife also started out her own business with a Singaporean in cosmetology. So we're actually looking at, almost 40,000 in terms of their household income every month, but they still got rejected 2 times on their own. They have 1 son and 1 daughter, both in international schools. So of course, both times they tried on their own, no supporting documents. They didn't highlight their professional credentials in the 3,500 character box given by ICA. All right. So what we did is, again, we studied their profile. We understand what they contributed to their industry, to their company, to Singapore's economy as a whole. And of course, we told them, you need to show to the government that you want to stay here for the long term with all your income. You need to diversify, have some of them locked down here in Singapore. There's no point sharing your assets that you have overseas because it will not help with the Singapore PR application. So of course, this is what we adjusted for them. And the third attempt, we found they got it approved after 7 months. All right. So one thing is sometimes for bigger families, if you come from a more exotic country, your processing time may be slightly longer. Okay. So there's something to note. The third case study is also another non-Asian family. All right. Hold dual passports. Okay. They have 2 kids and been in Singapore for more than 10 years already. Okay. Both the husband and wife are professionals in their own industries, working in MNCs, also earning a good income of 20,000 to 30,000 per month. So they've been rejected 3 times, and actually they want to give up already. But it's one of their friends who keep pushing them to seek for professional help, and they consulted with the immigration people. So again, we studied their profile, we advised them on the supporting documents, getting endorsements from Singaporeans. You must show that you integrate, you can make friends with different ethnicities, the Indians, the Chinese, the Malay, not just, the American or the French community. Again, we highlighted their professional credentials, right? Their commitment to stay in Singapore for the long term, and they finally got approved in the 4th try during the COVID period. As you can see, now they are very happy. They want to settle down, buy property, and send their kids to local schools.
All right, so a bit of personal sharing. So a lot of people are very curious, like, Kay, why are you doing this? Because my background, I used to be a cabin crew long time back, with Singapore Airlines, and I have actually been in the industry for close to 5 years. So why do I change industry? Because I was once you, right? You as in I was once an EP holders too, not Russian speaking EP holders, all right? So I have been through the entire process from, becoming a Singapore PR, and I just found my citizenship last month. So I'm pretty anxious waiting for results. Yeah. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I know how important it is to have a residency status in Singapore. So I genuinely want to help people like you. Yeah. Elena has a side of stories. Yeah. So Elena, would you like to share?
Sure. Okay. I'm born a Singaporean. My dad is a Singaporean, but it's my mom who's not a Singaporean. So she married my dad. She got a long-term visit pass, and then subsequently we applied PR for her. And that time I was older, in primary school, secondary school, when she applied for her citizenship. So I witnessed how she struggled with all the paperwork, the documentation. Back then was still face-to-face submission. So she had the ICA officer correcting her form, telling her that this document missing, that document missing. So from that, it actually left quite a big impression on me. And then after I started working, I managed to join the immigration industry, and it really resonated with me. And I'm glad to have met Kay. We are on the same page. This is why we started the immigration people, to help foreigners who are really genuine to settle down here in Singapore.
Now, what are the type of client that we want to work with? We really want to work with clients who are passionate about Singapore, who knows that effort needs to be made to show to the Singapore government that you are the best fit. Because there are times whereby, client after the consultation, they told me that, okay, it's okay. I thought applying for PR is only filling out the forms. You're asking me to do this, do that, too much work. So they are not really passionate. Yeah. And you have to be proactive as well, because this is not my application. This is your application. And, try not to exclude anyone in the application, because it really will actually decrease your chance. Yeah. So we would like to offer everyone, okay, here listening today for a one-to-one session, because there are too many of you. I don't know all of you personally. We would like to offer you a one-to-one in-depth profile evaluation. Then we'll share with you about ICE internal process, and we will actually share with you about some suggestion on how you can improve your profile, more personalized suggestion, and we'll share with you your entire journey with the immigration people. So right now we're going to open the floor for Q&A. I saw that there are a lot in the chat, yeah, and some in the Q&A box as well. So let's take a look at some of the questions that we have. We try to do it within 10 minutes because it's getting late, actually. I'm not sure, some of you might not have your dinner. If you want to book for the one-to-one, there's a QR code here, okay? So after you scan, right, they give you 2 options. One is, to do a face-to-face. Another one is do a Zoom consultation. Of course, we prefer Zoom, yeah, because of COVID, Yeah, so, you can book a consultation with us. Right. So, Katrina, shall we take a look at the, Q&A?
Have you seen that, yeah?
Yeah. So let's go to the Q&A first instead of the chat box, right? So I have these questions from... Andre said that, we are a family of 3, okay, including a 13-year-old son, do not want him to go to the Singapore Army. If we apply for the PR status, just the 2 of us, okay, does it make a rejection almost guaranteed? Okay, actually, right, I want to share, I have cases that, client exclude their son but approve. But the situation is that the son, I remember it's 17 or 18 years old. Yeah, and then the son, has planned, and he already applied for university overseas. So we actually put in the information that, he's adult enough He wants to make his own decision. He already applied for the school in university. So he exclude the son in this application and approve. Yeah, however, it's case to case. So we want to talk to you first to understand how old is your son and your situation, your profile, before we give you any comment. Yeah, it's not guaranteed rejection for sure. Yeah, okay. That's good. Now, next one. Am I eligible to apply if I work in Singapore for 12 months only? Okay, actually, right, you only need to put your 6 months pay slip to apply for the application. Yeah, a PR application. So 12 months is okay. Yeah, especially if you are EP holder, actually staying in Singapore for 12 months, right? You already have 1 year tax record. So you are eligible to apply. But of course, we want to speak to you first to see, have you done, integration? Have you been showing some, long-term commitment? If not, then we will actually advise you to take a bit of time, maybe 4 months, 6 months, build your profile first before we do the submission. So, talk to us, right? Elena, next one.
Sure. So the next one would be, with insurance provided by the company count as an advantage? We have medical, life, personal accident covered. So it doesn't make much sense to actually buy something additional. So one thing you should know is that all expats here, or I would say 99% of the expats here, are covered by company. All right. So it wouldn't set you apart from the rest of the other candidates because other people will have the same insurance coverage from the company as well. But we understand that there's no point in buying overlapping insurance. So it's always best to speak to a financial agent to actually analyze what has been covered for you, because some additional parts may not be covered. And another kind of insurance that you can consider is also those savings, wealth accumulation kind of insurance to show more long-term commitment. So it's not necessarily that you get, again, overlapping policies. Okay, try to get something new that is really beneficial for you as well. So we will be able to explain to you more about what type of insurance is suitable for you, especially when you come for the one-to-one consultation.
So next one is Elena. It's different Elena, I believe. So if we apply as a family, okay, who will the government assess, right? Is it only the main applicant or the family members as well? Now, when you apply under the professional, technical personnel and skilled worker scheme, for those who are holding on to EP, actually the main applicant is very important. So if you realize the form, right, they ask a lot more about the main applicant. However, if the co-applicant is working, actually government will look at the co-applicant as well. They will look at, how much is the total household income. Yeah, so it helps. Yeah, but the focus should be on the main applicant. So if the co-applicant is not working at all, then, ICA will just focus solely on the main applicant. So I hope I answered your questions. Yeah. Now, next one is how social integration and financial investment must be demonstrated and confirmed in the application. The main concern is that there's no corresponding box for this in the online form. I think that someone else also talked about this, in the
in the chat.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, actually, right. Yes, there's no special, field that say that please upload your additional documents here. Why? Because this is not what the government wants. So it's a very similar concept like today when you have gotten the rejection, you try to search on ICA website. ICA will never tell you that, this is the email for appeal. Please appeal within 6 months. What will happen? 70,000 of the people that got the rejection, right? Yeah, will make an appeal. So there are some information they will not disclose to the public, but it doesn't mean that it will not help you. So it is the same as the additional documents. There's no special channel, but we know exactly where to upload all these additional things in the same portal as you guys, okay? There's no special portal by us as well. So we will help you to upload all these things. And normally, right, we will prepare a cover letter that, summarize the entire profile. We talk about, your financial viability, your social integrations, your family background, qualification, and your career highlights, and also your motivation to apply for PR. So we're going to give them a good summary and we're going to upload the cover letter as well.
So this cover letter is done by you, right? And then you send it for approval. For example, in my case, you send it to me to approve, yeah?
Yes, correct. Of course, we will share with you first. You take a look at it. To be honest, our client love our cover letter because it's so personalized. There's no template that we use. Yeah, some company, right, they give you 2-page cover letter and it's so generic, and you know that this clearly doesn't belong to you. Yeah. Yeah. So, Elena, next one.
Sure. By Nadia, how many years need to stay in Singapore before applying for PR? This one, it really depends on your nationality as well as what pass you're holding. So again, let's say if you're Malaysian, if you hold EP 1 year, it's very good for you to apply already, or even less than 1 year. Okay, but if you're non-Asian, you hold EP, then usually we recommend complete at least 1 year or 1.5 years before applying. But again, the government's ICA's rule is minimum 6 months you can apply. All right, but usually we'll recommend when is the best time for you to apply based on your profile and the one-to-one consultation. So next by Anonymous, if I plan to divorce with my wife and then try to PR, will this impact my chances? No, this will not impact your chances, because after you divorce, we will update your marital status as divorced. We just need to submit the necessary documents and provide information about your ex-spouse and the divorce itself. All right, then ICA will consider you as a single applicant and assess you based on your own merits.
Yeah, marital status is not the 12 factors, so it's okay. All right. So next one, where should I attach a recommendation letter? I don't see that in the option. Oh, it's the same question. So of course, actually we are very transparent with our processes. We allow client to sit in to watch how we file the additional documents for them. Yeah, unlike some company, they don't have this option. They don't offer this option. So there are definitely ways to upload, because we spend so much time in writing your recommendation letter, your cover letter. We are definitely going to upload in the system, so don't worry about it.
By Alexander, do you fill in the online form, or do we do it with your help? We will fill in on your behalf. Don't worry, because we know what are the best way to actually fill in the application, what the best way to describe your achievements. But usually clients will furnish us with the necessary information by filling up our profile questionnaire and sending us their documents. But rest assured, the filling will be done by us. By NJ, S-Pass has much lesser chances than EP. It's not necessary. It's not really just about the level of pass that you're holding. It's more about your skill set, your stay in Singapore. Again, we look at the 12 factors. Pass category is not one of them, okay, but definitely the government will look into the industry requirement, your skill set and expertise.
All right, very interesting question about vaccination. So I'm going to answer Julia and Natalia question at one go. Is PR application asked for vaccination? Will vaccination status be essential for PR application? Unfortunately not. Yeah, so they will not ask you for your vaccination certificate. So vaccination status also will not actually affect the chances of your PR. Yeah, it affects how you can live in Singapore, if you cannot enter more, can enter more. Yeah, but not PR application. All right, thank you.
I think they can check it in your SingPass easily, right?
Yeah, correct. All right, next question from Alex. I do not want a citizenship, but can I still apply for PR? Will it decrease the chances? No, it's fine. Yeah, to be honest, right? Okay. It is fine for you to just apply for PR. There are many PRs living here only on PR status, but not converting. And for your information, for everyone good to know as well, it's not that when you're old, okay, when you're old and you're not working, they will kick you out. Yeah, so a lot of people thought, right, that they have to stay working in order to keep the PR status. So it's not. It will not decrease your chances. Yeah, but sometimes what we advise our client is that, if you have the intention to really convert, you should tell them in your cover letter. Yeah, it would be nice. But of course, if you change your mind, they won't chase after you. Hey, I remember you sent the cover letter. You say you want to convert, but why you never convert? No, so don't worry, all right? So it's fine, yeah, Alex. Oh, next one, also Alex. So you will get our SingPass credential. Okay, so right now, right, what we normally do is that we will send a QR code to our clients. So they do the scan and they allow us access. Then we file on behalf of them. The entire process, the client can sit in physically, sit beside us, or online, it will be fine as well. So they can see how we use, their SingPass. But of course, we have, letter drafted by the lawyer, yeah, to talk about the authorization of the SingPass, okay, to the immigration people is solely for PR purposes only. So we are professional. So we will not use your SingPass to do anything else. So don't worry about it. All right. Next one from Julia. Elena.
Sure. So from Julia, what are the chances for a German to get PR approved? Is there any quota per nationality every year? I have heard that there are more and less favorable nationalities applying for PRs. So German is definitely fine. I have a lot of European clients, be it from France, Germany, even UK, getting their PRs approved. Again, the government, Singapore, we are a merit-based country. Everything is based on meritocracy. So it's really about how you can value add the country and showing your commitment. So the government will not discriminate based on just your nationality, but like what Kay shared earlier, there is a quota to maintain our racial demographics. So for non-Asians, definitely is kept maintained at about 8% of the annual PR approved. Okay, they don't really go scrutinized based on country, but they look at your ethnicity. So if you're a German Caucasian, then you will just fall under the non-Asian category. I have clients who's German Chinese, all right, second generation, and she will fall under Asian category. So it's not just about the type of passport that you hold.
Right. Let's say the company has GTP status. So GTP, for some of you, you might not know, is Global Trader Program. So if Enterprise SG can give some kind of recommendation, would it improve the chances? Of course. But the recommendation must be for you. It's not that, recommend the company and not individual. But what this Enterprise SG can do is that, I personally would like to recommend this individual because Alex is a critical, person in the company. If you have this kind of letter, yes, it will improve your chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Next one, Julia said salary determines the tax contribution. What about sales incentive? Sales incentive is half of the base salary. Should I indicate all earning, right? So actually, right, when we fill up the forms, so we have to fill up the basic salary, right? And then there's gross salary. So gross salary part, we will normally include all the fixed allowance. Yeah, but sales incentive, okay, can be reflected under your pay slip as well. So they will also take a look at your payslip. Yeah. So, and one more thing is that don't forget when you apply, right, you have to sign Appendix 1, which is to let government to have access to all your financial information. So they will actually approach IRAS to know about how much is your taxable income. So rest assured, they will know that you have this sales incentive, which make up a lot to your salary component. Yeah. So it's fine.
All right, next, Julia has a few more questions. So let's try to answer them in one effort. So the shortest time and longest time to take PR approved, we have clients getting the PR approved in 2 months, okay, for Malaysian Chinese single straightforward profile. My longest client to get approved of PR is about 2 years. Again, I remember it's Indonesian Muslim family of 4 who got rejected a few times before. So it really depends on your profile. We don't want to put a fixed number to it. Okay. Next one is the success quota of our company for PR submission in 2020 and 2021. Okay, maybe this one Kay would like to answer because this is a favorite question.
Oh, this is my favorite questions. Okay, you know what's the truth? Our industry, right? There's no company keep track of success rate. So whichever company use success rate to attract you to sign up with them, please do not, listen to them. Yeah, they're lying. Why is it not feasible to track? Let me share with you. So today I access, your SingPass solely for the purpose of filing the application. So I have no records of your, password. I can't log in and check for yourself. So clients have the rights not to share with us as well, because some clients, they tend to be quite strict, with their status. So there are times whereby clients never get back to us at all. I've been in the industry for more than 4 years, right? So I have clients who signed up with me 4 years ago, and until now, I never heard from them. And because of the longest and shortest approval, 2 months to 2 years. So it's not feasible for us to really go and ask each client, oh, have you gotten your result? What's your result? So it's not feasible to track actually. But honestly, right, based on our experience, I see a success rate is only about 30%, right? So for a proper firm, okay, who do select client like us, right? So our success rate, I can tell you, it's only about 55 to 60%. So, but that's the honest one. And we are not telling that because everyone else in our industry are saying 80, 90, 99%. So if we say 60%, no one is going to come to us. So we don't like to say success rate. Yeah. So check Google review, watch our successful PR story, then you will know. Right? Now, Julia said that are they still invite one-to-one interview? Due to COVID, so it's better to talk a bit Mandarin. I'm learning Mandarin. Oh, good for you, Julia. But sadly, there's no interview. Yeah, there's no interview at all right now. Yeah, back then, before December 2017, yes. It's not really an interview. It's just you go.
It's not because of the COVID, right? It's just they just
change the system before COVID, December 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't worry, we can include in the cover letter, we can even put up your, Mandarin certificate. Yeah, it will help. All right, let's try to answer the 3 more. And then I think it's getting late already. Yeah. So in your company, how is the approval rate? Oh, Nadia, I have just answered this. Yeah, so I skipped this. So when is the best time to apply? January, July, November. So it's actually January, February, March. Okay. So actually, right, there's no best time to apply. The best time to apply is when your profile is ready. Yeah. So for your information, right, why is Elena client waited for 2 years for the approval? So because they submitted an application, very professionally, right? So I still kind of like them, but there's no quotas available. So what they do is they keep them under the wait list, right? So next quarter, right, they will actually bring up their profile again. Yeah. So there's no more quota, no quota again. They put it back again. Right. So that's why there are people who waited for 9 months for approval. There are people who waited for 1 year. So because of this, there's no best time is how ready is your profile. And the quota, it's every quarterly, there will be new quotas available. Yeah. So Alex have one question. If I get a small portfolio in Singapore stock as SGX, will it help? Yes, it will help. Yeah. But we prefer you to diversify your investments. Some can be short-term, some should be long-term investment. How big the investment should be? ICA will not see like the number actually. Yeah. So you still have to see how much you're earning, right? So how much is that, you put example 10%, best to talk to a financial professional because honestly, Elena and I is not in a good position to advise. Yeah. But ICA will not see, a certain amount. All right. I think last questions, Elena?
Sure. Okay. Last 2, let's just cover the last 2. If I have PR in Taiwan, will it be helpful or vice versa? It wouldn't affect your Singapore PR application, but it will not decrease. It will not affect positively or negatively. We have seen a lot of clients who are PRs in other countries as well and still getting their Singapore PR. In fact, we will also not mention in anywhere in your PR application at all because basically it does not really influence the case. All right. For Natalia is if it's 28,000 PR approvals per annum, 2,200 others. Is it application per one person? We're looking at the by per person, by per applicant. Yeah, so just now that 27,420 number of new PRs. Okay, and for Alicia, if the application is rejected only after 1.5 years, is it due to quota? Actually, 1.5 years, it means that the government has seriously considered your profile. All right, they are just this close to actually approving you, but then there may be other candidates that they feel are more suitable at the point in time. Okay, at the same time, sometimes they feel like they've been dragging your application for too long. It's about time to get a result. Okay, so this is when they will release the outcome as well, because not everybody that they will hold on for very long to wait for a quota to be released to approve you. So it really depends. If they feel like after so many rounds, they want to approve you, but there's always a better candidate to approve, then this is when they will release the outcome. So actually 1.5 years, it means that you have a very good chance already. So maybe we just need to fine tune certain parts of your profile to make it work this time around.
All right. So Alicia, remember, try again. Okay, don't give up. 1.5 years is really is something good. If they don't want you, right, sometimes 6 months, 4 months, they reject you already. Like my client, so pity, 1 month reject. Yeah. There's someone send us a heart. Okay, sorry, I have to stop already. There's someone send us a heart. So this is all right. Thank you so much. Katrina, back to you.
Yeah, ladies, I just got the question in a chat box, so I think it's interesting. So this one is for your pricing policy. So is it possible to split the fee by part and when it should be paid?
Yes, we do allow, but only 2 installments. Yeah, 50% to start the process, another 50% during the handover. Yeah, but of course, actually, a majority of our clients would just pay upfront to save the hassle. You have to pay anyway. Plus, it's before submission.
Yeah. So once the documents are signed, so then we do the payment.
Yeah, correct. Because of course we need your commitment before we share with you our checklist, guide you on how you can work on your case. So that's why, the payment always, before we start the process.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's very energetic and lots of information.
Thank you guys. Yeah,
so thank you very much.